Hello everyone, welcome to a special little video here looking at the new Batman Beyond 25th Anniversary Compendium collection. So this is completely unscripted, these are just my thoughts after a couple of hours with this book. It is a meaty collection of the majority of the Batman Beyond tie-in comics that were published in the late 90s and early 2000s. It's what, 752 pages of classic Batman Beyond comics, the majority of which were written by, you can see on here, Hilary J. Bader. Now, she was a writer on the series. She wrote my favourite episode, Meltdown, with Alan Burnett. And the fact that she was involved, as well as the writer Rich Fogel, in my mind, that makes all of these comic book stories here canon to the Batman Beyond storyline. If that matters to you or not, I don't know. Some people it's more important than others, but it's really great. It's basically Batman Beyond Volume 1, Issue 1 to 6, Batman Beyond Volume 2, Issue 1 to 24, and an issue of Superman. What was that series actually called? Can't remember off the top of my head now. Superman Adventures, excuse me, number 64. Which featured Terry McGinnis travelling to the present day, meeting Superman. You can see here the first issue has a cover by Bruce Timm. And issue 1 and issue 2 are adaptations of Rebirth, but with some additional material. So, for instance, here there's a flashback to Batman kind of getting the idea of having a powered-up suit. And then it cuts to the events that we know from Rebirth and all of Terry McGinnis' stuff here. But really, issues 1 and 2 are the only ones that retell the events of the show. And if we can get to... Oh yeah, and you can see there are some changes here, like when Mr. Fix gets killed. Here, he gets electrocuted, the ship crashes, and there's an explosion. Whereas if you remember in the show, he drowned when the ship crashed into the sea. And there was no Terry flying off joyously going, I am Batman. I have to think that because Hilary Bader was one of the writers on the series, she probably just reused the scripts. Probably before they got changed at like the storyboard level. That would just be my guess. I don't know that for certain. I should ask Dan Reber. Dan, if you're watching this, leave a comment below. You can see here there's an additional page showing Bruce and Terry shaking hands with Ace. But once you get to issue 3 of the first volume, that's when the original stories start. Now, this first volume must take place during season 1 because Blight's here. And also, oh yeah, an introduction with Etrigan the Demon, or introduction 2? Yeah, I don't know. English is a complicated language. No, I'm just clumsy with my words, unfortunately, without a script. Yeah, and then we have, I'm not going to go through all of this, but essentially the first volume was only 6 issues long, and this was the one I wanted to get to. This is a nice cover by James Tucker. You're going to see this in one of my upcoming videos, spoilers. But this kind of shows what happened to ink after disappearing ink. I don't want to spoil it because I do talk about it. Then when you get to volume 2, which is the 24 issue run, that all seems to take place either during season 2 or after season 2 or during season 3. But you get really great stories that bring back some of the villains that disappeared during the show, kind of hinting that they were dead. Let me see if I can find a good example. I mean, there's another ink issue. What was this one? This one was Splicers, was it possibly? Yeah, Sliced by Splicers. There's a really good one I really wanted to highlight, which was about Barbara Gordon. And it calls back to the events of Over the Edge in the new Batman Adventures. Where is it? No. So in the new Batman Adventures episode Over the Edge, did I just see it? No. Barbara Gordon gets exposed to the Scarecrow's fear gas, and she has a hallucination that Commissioner Gordon discovers their identities and works to take in, here we go, this one, goes to take in Batman, and it's kind of like her nightmare. And this issue kind of talks about Batgirl's recurring problems because of that fear gas exposure, and how she kind of temporarily hallucinates periodically throughout her life. I remember thinking this one was really good when it first came out, so I'm looking forward to rereading it again. But there you go, you can see the events of Over the Edge being recounted here. And the Scarecrow's fear serum had left its mark. About 3 years later, I had a relapse. Bruce found a treatment. It wasn't a cure, but I wouldn't have to suffer through the terrors. Just kind of sleep through the 3 or 4 days until the relapse passed. Yeah, I remember this one being very good. And there are a couple of stories that show villains that seemed to possibly be dead, like Patrick the Rat Boy. There's a follow-up story with him in here. Oh, it's this one here. This one, I enjoyed this one as well. I thought this one was really good. But I mean, I could go through every single issue and go, oh, this one's really good. Oh, that one's really good. There's one glaring omission as far as I'm concerned. And that is, it doesn't include the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker adaptation, which, I mean, I guess I can see why, because it was just an adaptation of the film. But then I would argue that, you know, these ones here, issue 1 and 2 of Batman Beyond, are an adaptation of Rebirth. So why not include Return of the Joker as well? I'm sure there's a very good reason why. I just don't know what it is. If you know, let me know in the comments below. That would be very interesting to learn. And one final thing I want to call out before I finish this up is this series, a couple of the issues had some really beautiful covers. Here we go. Beautiful covers by the late Darwin Cook. I really like this cover, but my favourite one is for the last issue. And this one here with Terry and his mother, with a massive splicer claw there. I remember really being drawn to this cover when it came out. Yeah, so, I mean, there's not really much else to say. I mean, you get this issue of Superman Adventures as well. Can't believe I forgot what that series was called. But yeah, issue 64 that has tie-in crossover with Batman Beyond. And then you get a little blurb at the end here describing each of the creators involved. And that's it. So it's a softback book. So it's not a hardback like the Batman Adventures omnibus. But that means that it gets to be a bit more affordable at $60 instead of however much the omnibus was. I think that was, I want to say 150, but I'm probably wrong. It was considerably more expensive, and I hope that Batman Beyond fans out there will track this down and buy it, and it will send a message to, I was going to say Warner Brothers then, but it's really DC Comics. Send a message to them. Let's do more DC Animated Universe Batman Beyond comics, not those Batman Beyond comics they've been doing recently where they've just been doing... Well, let me just put it this way. I haven't really enjoyed them very much, but I'm sure they have their fans out there. I would just prefer it if they continued Terry McGinnis's adventures from the animated series in comic book form. But yeah, that's it. That's all there is to say about this book, I think. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to do all the usual YouTube stuff, like, share, comment, subscribe, etc. Blah, blah, blah. You know how YouTube works. All right, well, take care, everyone.